Hi, this is Anne with Graphic Design How To, and today I'm going to show you how to make your text look like it's been photocopied a lot, kind of grungy and distressed. And we'll do this in Photoshop, but we'll also use Illustrator a little too. All right, let's get started. Okay, so I'm going to start off in Illustrator and I'll just create new. I'm going to come up here to print and then choose letter, and then we'll come down here to create. Now I'm going to need some text, so I'll hit T on my keyboard and I'll just click once, and I'm going to type hello in all caps. I'll get on my selection tool and get on a corner and then hold shift to make it a lot bigger. I'll hit Command T to get my character palette up. That's Control T on a PC. And if you don't see it, just hit it again because it toggles it off and on. Okay, we'll change our text to Montserrat. I'm going to choose Montserrat Extra Bold. I'm going to zoom in a little bit and I'm going to click on it and then bring my brushes panel up. To do that, you can go to Window, Brushes, and all of the other panels you see here are underneath Window. Let's open a brush. So to do that, I'll get over here on the flyout and choose Open Brush Library. And I think I want to do Artistic and one of these chalk charcoal pencil brushes. So here they all are. And I'm going to try this charcoal soft and charcoal tapered brush. And when I do that, it adds them over here to my brushes, but it's not adding anything over here, and that's because we don't have a stroke. Make sure your text is selected and then click on your fill and drag it onto the stroke. And now I'll increase that a little bit up here at the top. Now, if you don't see this bar up here, it's under Window, Control right here. Let's click on Charcoal Tapered. Now, if this isn't working and it's not showing up on your text, the culprit is usually in the Appearance palette. So let's go ahead and open the Appearance palette, Window, Appearance. And yes, I can see that the characters are holding the stroke and fill. Okay, so we need to get rid of both of these and then just apply them up here in Type instead of Characters. So I'll come over here and choose Add New Fill and Add New Stroke. And we'll change this to 6. Now if we choose one of these artistic brushes, I'm going to choose the tapered one. And we can see now that it's adding that brush to the edge. Now the brush is being applied to the stroke as it should be. All right, let's copy this. I'm going to come over here to Photoshop and create new. And it'll automatically give us our clipboard size, but I think I'm going to make that quite a bit bigger. We'll change it to 1000 by 500. And then we'll make the resolution 300. And that's a pretty big, high quality document. The reason I like to do it that way is because when you start big, you can always go smaller, but if you start small, you can't get bigger because your artwork will get blurry. Let's change this to RGB and I'll click Create. I'm going to paste and we'll choose pixels and say OK. And I'll hit Return. Okay, now we're going to need a texture. Now I've already got an image that I'm going to use for this. I'll leave the link in the description below, and I'm just going to pull this onto Photoshop. I downloaded this from pexels.com. That's a free image website, and those are free to use for commercial purposes, but you can't actually sell the image in and of itself. So be careful about that, read the license, and make sure you're using the photos correctly. It's totally okay to practice with them though. Okay, now I'll hit M on my keyboard. And I'm just going to draw a box around this part down here. This is what I want to use for the texture. And then I'll hit C for crop. I'll hit return a couple times. And now I want to bring my levels up. So I'll come up here to Image, Adjustments, and Levels. You can also hit Command L or Control L to get there. Now I'm going to bring this part all the way over here so it's mostly black. And then I'll bring the white back up. So we get a lot of white little dots and stuff. We'll say, okay, now I'm going to select all with Command A or Control A and copy it and then just paste it into our other document. And it's going to come in quite a lot bigger. So I'm going to hit Command T or Control T unless you want these huge chunks of distress to be cut out of your hello text layer. I don't want them to be that big, so I'm going to hit Command T or Control T and then Command 0 or Control 0. And we'll just resize this a little bit. I want them to be pretty big though. So I'm going to hit Return. I'll zoom in with the Z tool, and they're still looking a little big, so I'm going to hit Command T to bring those dots down just a little bit. Now I'm going to hit Command 0. Okay, now let's open our channels. I've got red, green, and blue, and I'm going to just toggle through those to see which one I like the best. They're very similar, so I'm just going to choose the red one. I'll Command click it to select all the pieces. Now I'll hide my layer, and I'll get back on my hello layer. I'll come up here to Layer, Layer Mask, and Hide Selection. And now you can see this kind of grungy, copied look that we get. So this is a mask. If you don't want to see it, you can hold Shift and click on it to see what it looks like without the mask. And the really nice thing about a mask is that you can add a new background color. So let's come up here to color, and I'll just hit red. And then I'll Option Delete or Alt Delete on the background to fill it with red. You can see those little pieces are actually cut out of our hello text. Now another cool thing you can do is move that distress around back there. So to do that, just unlink your mask, click on the mask, and then hit V to get on your move tool. And you can move it around and decide what part of the mask you like best. It does end, so be careful about that. You want it to be covering all the parts of your hello text. And when you're done, you can just link it back up so that when you move this layer, it'll all move together. Now, if we want to export this as a transparent PNG, we can just drag our background to the trash or turn it off, either way. So we could just turn off the eyeball. And then we would come up here to File, Export, Export As. We'd enter a size, and then make sure it says PNG and transparency. And we'll export that. And then we'll just call it hello.png and save it. And now we can use it over any color, and it'll have a transparent background. Alright, if you like this video, please click on the like button, and I'll see you next week with another graphic design tutorial. Thank you!